Am I the a-hole for telling my wife, 37 female, about my fears of her having an affair with her son's friend, 20 male? Wife and I have been together 11 years and married 9. She's got 3 kids, 20, 18, and 14, with her ex, and I've got one with my ex 19, and we have one together 5. My stepson has been good friends with this kid for a couple years. They met working the same job. He comes to our house a lot to play video games, and over the last year has been hanging out with our family generally. I never really liked him coming round because my son told me he was involved in drugs and heavy drinking, and at that time I heard he wasn't earning all his money legally. It was also obvious my stepdaughter had a crush on him. He didn't go to college and works a couple jobs. He's got his own apartment and truck and seems to be doing all right for a guy his age. He comes from a rough home and he's got a bunch of younger siblings. He's very involved with them and seems like a great role model. My stepson and son always complain about hanging out with him when girls were around. He's tall, good-looking, and very charismatic. They say he steals all the girls' attention, and my stepson used to get upset with his now ex-girlfriend because she acted different around him. He asked me for advice, which was hard for me, because I think he was right in being worried. It was at this point I noticed even my wife acted slightly different towards him compared to our kids' other friends. I started to think she was probably attracted to him, but I didn't want to worry and overthink it. On top of everything else I mentioned that could have attracted her to him, she also shares a similar background and can tell relates to him a lot. Again, I wasn't too worried about this until recently. Things changed at the beginning of the summer when we found out our youngest son would be starting at the same elementary school as the friend's younger brother. My wife organized for them to hang out together, and that first time her eldest son went with them too. The little boys seemed to enjoy each other's company, and so throughout the summer. They've taken them to several different places and activities together. Many of the times, just the little boys, the friend, and my wife. This started to make me a little uncomfortable, but I didn't want to say anything about it because it seemed like something juvenile to complain about. A few of the times when I was around before she took the kids out, I could tell she had made an effort with her appearance, clothes. Through all this, he's still been coming over to hang out with my stepson. I found myself becoming angry when I found out that he was helping my stepson do some handy jobs around the house. It was at this point I knew I was feeling paranoid about this guy's relationship with my wife. A few weeks ago, when she was showing me something on her phone, I saw that she had a message from him along the lines of, "Dude, what the F?" Obviously, nothing suspicious, unless you count a guy texting his friend's mom. A week ago, he was around for family dinner and movie night, and the way he and my wife were interacting was driving me insane. It's hard to even put my finger on, but I think it was how familial they seemed with each other, and how when my wife made a bad joke, he was the only one to genuinely laugh. There was also a moment in the kitchen where I saw him briefly touch her waist as he tried to move past her. At this point, I'm worried that my wife is at the least having some kind of emotional affair, or possibly something worse. My wife has the time to have an affair. She's a stay-at-home mom, and I work a lot. She has a highly active social life and is generally gone at least one evening a week seeing friends. Any of the times in the last few months, she could have been somewhere else. Also, during the summer, our son spent several weeks at day summer camp, so she was free during the day too. This whole week I felt stressed and paranoid and decided the best course of action was to just tell her my fears and see what she says. I felt I'd either get an answer, yes or no, or have a better sense of if she's hiding something. She was not at all happy I asked her and acted confused that I would bring it up. She said she's just trying to be a supportive person in his life, as he doesn't have many adults in his life he can trust. She even showed me all her text messages with him, and although they text a fair amount, there's nothing too personal or suggestive of affair. She's really mad at me now and essentially called me an a-hole. Am I?